I'm Gail Hansen, the Vice President of Campus Life and the Chair of the Search Committee for the Director of Athletics and Recreation at American University. We want to thank you for joining us this afternoon to welcome an accomplished new leader to American University's athletics program. On behalf of the Search Committee, we want to thank Dr. Kerwin for entrusting this important assignment to us. We are very proud of the outstanding educator and administrator that we've helped to recruit to guide the future of AU Eagles. Now it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Kerwin to make his announcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Let me begin first by acknowledging, if I think she's here, is Carolyn Femovich, the Executive Director of the Patriot League, was to join us. I hope she does at some point. I want to begin, though, by thanking Gail Hansen and the entire search committee for what I think is not only an outstanding search in terms of the way it was conducted, but also with the result that I'm about to announce. And if they're here, if they're all here, I'd like them to stand. The members of the search committee, Emily Marr, our student athlete, Sarah Irvine Belson from the School of Education, Teaching and Health, Professor Kyo Kim, College of Arts and Sciences, our Vice President of Development and Alumni Relations, Tom Miner. Tom. Our alumni representative, Ron Vogel. Ron, are you here? Ron told me the other day that he will never answer another call I make to him. Thank you, Ron. And Doug Kudravitz, our Associate Vice President and Assistant Treasurer. I also want to thank Parker, Executive Search, for excellent support throughout this process. In search for a new director of athletics and recreation at American University, I asked the committee that Dr. Hansen so ably led to find me somebody capable of leading a very, very strong department. That is our Department of Athletics and Recreation, brought to this point by a superb coaching staff and a great staff supporting our student athletes and those coaches. We wanted someone who could hold up the tradition of consistently preparing our student athletes to excel in the classroom and on their respective fields and courts of play. Someone who was himself or herself an accomplished professional and a tested leader. Someone who shares and has lived the core values of this university, and who will help both the department and the university achieve the ambitious goals that we've all set for ourselves. In Dr. William Walker, we have found such an individual, and I'm both pleased and proud to welcome him today as our Director of Athletics and Recreation. I want to tell you a little bit about Billy. He comes to us from his current position as Deputy Athletic Director at the United States Air Force Academy. I'm not going to attempt to review his entire resume, but a summary is available in the press releases, and of course, you'll be reading a great deal more about him as the days and weeks go on. Suffice it to say, it's most impressive. And I think this is the appropriate point for me to introduce his wife, Carolyn Walker. Carolyn, would you stand? And to thank her also for joining the AU family. But returning to Dr. Walker, he's a colonel in the Air Force, and his military service has been truly distinguished. While at the Academy, he has achieved distinction in both his academic work and in athletics. He's an award-winning teacher at the Academy, and he currently holds one of only 22 presidentially appointed permanent professorships at the Academy. And I might add, and to try to make it clear, that is President of the United States who makes that appointment. In selecting Dr. Walker from an exceptionally strong pool of candidates, I considered the following things. his commitment to achieving the proper balance of academic rigor and accomplishment and success in intercollegiate athletics, his vision for a department that aggressively and successfully promotes our core values of diversity and gender equity, his demonstrated ability to work collaboratively, not just within his own department, but across the entire university, his high ethical standards, and his determination to manage a program that will always do this great university proud, his concern for the work that the department engage as many students on this campus as possible through participation, of course, in intercollegiate athletics, but also club sports, intramurals, fitness activities, and supporters to our men's and women's teams. I considered also his deep ties in the Washington community and how that experience could help both the department and the university in the years ahead. I've spent enough time with Billy now, and I've learned enough about him to know that we have in him a person of great achievement, integrity, a great breadth of interest and experience, and above all, a person deeply committed to the development of our students as whole people, preparing themselves for lifetimes of accomplishment and leadership. So it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our new Director of Athletics and Recreation, Dr. William Walker. Billy? Before Billy speaks, let me make a note about the number. The number is 50. Billy is actually the 14th athletic director at AU. But I'm the 14th president, so I have 14. He gets 50. Billy, it's all yours.
Wow, what a couple days. So first, I'd like to say that I'm tremendously humbled to be standing here before you today, having been named as the 14th Director of Athletics and Recreation at American University. It's quite an honor. I want to thank President Kerwin, sir, for having faith in me to lead such a fine department. I'd also like to thank Dr. Hansen and the rest of the search committee for doing such a thorough job and making the process truly enjoyable. And it really was. So, I'd also like to thank Daniel Parker and Parker Executive Search for helping me navigate through this process. Before I get started, I'd also like to make a few personal and professional thank yous to some of my mentors as well. First, Dr. Hans Mew, who is the Director of Athletics at the United States Air Force Academy, for being such a supportive boss and always allowing me the independence to chart the course that I felt appropriate for our department. Next, Colonel Randy Spettman, who's the athletic director at Florida State University. He was my original mentor in this business, and without question, the most inspiring leader I've ever met. Dr. David Stotler, who's the director of school and sport exercise science at the University of Northern Colorado, is the man who taught me the most about the nuts and bolts of sport administration, and actually the one that encouraged me to pursue my doctorate. And lastly, Coach Wayne Bachman, who allowed a scrawny 125-pounder to be a walk-on at on his team. He didn't cut me. 3 years later, he made me his team captain, brought me back as assistant coach about 10 years after that, and then had the sense enough to retire once I became his supervisor. Now, this 5-time Olympian still provides me with a lot of unsolicited advice anytime he sees fit. So these 4 men have all been my mentors and have helped me to get to this position today. And I'm really proud that I can call them my mentors, but I'm more proud that I can call them all my friend. I also want to thank, I didn't know this, my brother Pat, my sister-in-law Mary just surprised me coming in from Milwaukee area, and they just showed up a couple minutes ago. So I guess what that tells you is anytime you give someone an excuse to get out of Wisconsin in February, they'll do it. So So thank you guys. I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank the fine men and women of the Air Force Academy Athletic Department for making my job easy and making me look good the last 12 years. Just as we have here at American, the coaches, instructors, and staff at Air Force are simply phenomenal, and they made my job a joy every day. So I want to thank them as well. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wife Caroline and my daughter Kayla. As Air Force family, they're always up for an adventure, and they've always been tremendously supportive. Caroline is here today, as was introduced, so thank you for being here, Caroline. Kayla is back in Chicago at Northwestern University in class right now, which is exactly what she should be doing. So, throughout this process, the most frequently asked question I received was, why American? Well, that answer is simple. American is a university who has institutional values and an institutional philosophy that fit mine perfectly. I believe intercollegiate athletics is one component of a comprehensive educational program developing the whole person. While I firmly believe in the value of intercollegiate athletics and the character building it provides, I'm adamant that athletics must complement the academic mission, not overwhelm it. I love the fact that American offers a robust Division I program while at the same time refusing to compromise its academic standards. American also clearly shares my belief in the value of diversity and gender equity. This inclusiveness provides a critical extra degree of depth and richness to the culture and climate at any educational institution. I'm also delighted the position of Director of Athletics and Recreation. We in athletics always extol the virtues of competition, and rightfully so, but character building and virtuous competition, what the ancient Greeks referred to as agon, is beneficial at all levels, to include club sports and intramurals. Additionally, as educators, we should want to ensure our young adults are developing habits of fitness that will hopefully lead to a lifetime of fitness. I'm glad that I can be a part of that as well. You know, as President Kerwin said, I'm stepping into a great situation. Keith Gill left the department in fantastic shape, and it's very healthy, and it's full of selfless professionals. I'd like to build on that success. First, we will continue to ensure our student athletes receive a world-class education, a rewarding and meaningful athletic experience, and a better understanding of their role in our society and culture at large. And they will all graduate. Next, a culture of compliance will permeate everything we do in the department. Whether it be NCAA, Patriot League, or EIWA rules, I'll never tire of articulating to everyone in the department that we are compliance officers, and we will propagate that culture. Third, our department will be fully integrated on campus. This starts with me, but will ultimately be the responsibility of everyone in the department. We can't expect the university to support us as a department if we don't understand what our athletes are going through away from the athletic department, and if we don't support the entire university as a whole. Fourth, a healthy organization must recognize the importance of contributions of every member. I'll guarantee everyone in the department realizes they are valued members of the Eagle family. We will reach out to our external constituencies as well. We need to ensure we have involvement and support from alumni, boosters, parents, and the Washington, D.C. community. Lastly, but certainly not least, we will compete for championships. If we're successful with the 5 indicators that I mentioned previously, championships will follow. And that's where I come in. My job as a leader to create and nurture an environment where everyone will reach their potential and achieve their goals. I'll do that through trust, compassion, solid and straight communication, providing necessary resources, zero tolerance for any type of discrimination or harassment, and a clear and frequent articulation of our department's mission goals and objectives. You know, everyone wants to experience a certain degree of individual success, but more importantly, everyone wants to be part of a winning team. As athletic director, I'll tap into that drive in everyone and cultivate it, nurture it, and direct it in such a way as to benefit the individual and the entire department. And part of cultivating and nurturing that drive in everyone is to have fun, and we'll do that. Morale in any department is important, and if there's any department on this campus or on any campus that has an inherent advantage in morale, it should be the athletic department. all of you in the athletic department know how many of your friends are envious that this is where you get to work. Believe me, the Eagle family is going to work hard, but we'll enjoy it. After all, I firmly believe that having fun is serious business. Lastly, to the students in the room and around campus, you're the reason we're all here, period. Everything I do will be done with an eye towards improving your student-athlete experience or your recreational experience. As I get out and about and meet as many of you as possible, let me know your ideas. Whether I see you at practice, walking through the quad, or at the University Center, please introduce yourself and let you know, because I really want to know what you think and how we can make things better. In closing, thank you, President Kerwin, once again, for selecting me for this unbelievable opportunity. Be assured the athletic department will focus on our strategic plan objective to inspire pride and reinforce the student-athlete experience. Go Eagles.
Thank you, Billy, and thank all of you very much for being here this afternoon at the start of another stage in the development of a great, great department. I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to thank someone who is very close to me and close to many of the people in this room. That's David Taylor. Is David here? David up in the back. David's been working as the acting AD. And has handled that stewardship remarkably. I think no one is happier to see Colonel Walker on the campus than David Taylor is at this point, given his other responsibilities. And I think that Carolyn Femovich, Carolyn is up and back. Our Patriot League Executive Director also just arrived. Carolyn, welcome. So let's move on from today with the spirit that Billy just infused in the room. We have tremendous opportunities ahead of us, both as a university and as a department, and we've got the right guy leading it. Enjoy the rest of the day.